One aspect that might be an advantage of the circular economy is environmental impact. Let's take a look once more at the Sustainable Development Goals. For example, SDGs 1, 2, 7 and 8 and 9 are all relevant for the development part. They will lead to better living standards and they also will imply an increased use of resources. On the other hand, SDGs 13, 14 and 15 are about climate, about ecosystems and about biodiversity. They will suffer if resource extraction increases. We'll have a look as an example at the environmental impacts related to metals use. I will use the results of a broad study done for the International Resource Panel on that topic. In that study, a broad array of environmental impacts were discussed. Local impacts at mining sites, impacts of emissions of metals to the environment, disruptions of natural cycles, but the most important finding was that metals are very energy-intensive materials indeed. At a global level, we see that metal production uses up 7 to 8% of the total global energy production. And this is really a huge amount for just one sector. Here we see a picture of the energy requirement of metals production in megajoules per kilogram of metal. We see that it differs per metal. Some metals are more energy intensive than others. For example, aluminium, that's the largest one, uses 200 megajoules per kilogram, while steel requires only about 20 megajoules per kilogram of metal. But if you would compare metals to other materials, for example concrete or plastics, you would see that even steel is quite an energy-intensive material. If you multiply the energy requirement per kilogram of metal with the global production of these metals, you get the total global energy use for metals. And that is the 7 to 8% of total global energy production that I talked about earlier. You see here that steel, although the energy intensity per kilogram is lowest, is still responsible for by far the largest part of the energy use. And that is just because it's produced in such huge amounts. This 7 to 8% of total global energy use will go up in the future. It will go up in an absolute sense, but also in a relative sense.